Hey guys, it's Liana. I am a senior editor over at Game Informer, and welcome to my channel. I don't know why I said it like that. Assuming I can get this video, I have like so many videos that are already edited and ready to go, but I take too long because the work is crazy. So hopefully I get this one up when I want, otherwise this will be a moot point. But as we go into tomorrow, E3 2021 of Xbox's and Bethesda's showcase, I did want to kind of dive back into E3 2016 territory. So E3 2016, for those that may not remember, was a highlight with Phil Spencer talking about Project Scorpio, which of course we know what that is now, and talking about basically the future of Xbox. Now this is coming off of the Xbox One generation, where a lot of trust with gamers was burned. This trust was burnt because Xbox and Microsoft kind of lost its vision. This was pre-Spencer takeover, and Xbox was so preoccupied with trying to be an all-in-one entertainment system that it really lost the focus that was at the heart of what Team Green even is, and that's gaming. Now everybody's kind of doing the all-in-one entertainment systems, and it's kind of commonplace. We're in the age of subscriptions. That being said, those also, you have to also have the games included with that as well. That was something Xbox One did not have under previous leadership. Phil Spencer came in, took over, and was like, no, we doing this. But when you're repairing that much damage, there is a lot of work that goes in that can't just pop out results the very next day. Sometimes it can take years, and we're seeing that. We're seeing that with over 23 studios now under the Xbox umbrella. We're seeing it with localization efforts with Yakuza, and Sega properties are a big concern for players, that they're going to get more of that on that particular platform as well. But that being said, he did, during this particular showcase in 2016, he talked about the future. He talked about, where they want to go, a shift in strategy. They're a leading brand back once more. That's something they kind of lost touch with. Phil Spencer did a great job with Xbox. I cannot sing his praises enough. You can also see this coverage on GameInformer.com, because I literally think it's so understated exactly what he's doing for gaming. So, if you guys are interested, and I will drop this in below, is I have a article that I wrote pre this gen. So some of it is a little bit outdated, but if you want to look at that, it's how next gen effectively killed console wars. And that was me breaking down the different strategies of Microsoft and Sony. What was really cool is that some of you might not know, but I have a master's degree in business, and I was able to kind of pull from that to look at marketing strategy. I've also worked on the marketing side of the industry as well, so I kind of was able to pull from that insight a little bit and provide maybe a different perspective that people might not know of. So anyways, with E3 in full swing, and we've got the first joint Xbox Bethesda showcase because of the acquisition that went official earlier this year, I kind of wanted to reflect back on the promises made, because it really does go to show that, one, he absolutely honored everything he said that him and his team are working on, which is great to see, especially in the age of broken promises. But more than that, it really just goes to show that we don't always have the full picture, and we should be a little bit less reactive sometimes. And it's very much evident with comparing 2016 to comparing to 2021, where when he made these promises, I remember everybody, when he made these promises in 2016, a very big portion of the gaming community was like, Spencer's lying, oh my god, they can't do anything, what is even the point of Xbox at this point? And then now we're seeing those promises see fruition, and it really just goes to show that patience, anything worth doing and worth doing well, takes time. So I wanted to talk about, 2016, when he came out with the Xbox Scorpio talks. It was really interesting to me to see that reflection and see how much Xbox has changed its perspective, its drive, its place in the industry. Xbox was king when the first console first dropped. It was neck and neck with PlayStation. One might even argue king in the Xbox 360 era. And Xbox One, and that's what made the pivot and the drop so drastic, because they were on such a high only to just lose it so epically. And that was a big part of the previous leadership. They were so disconnected from gaming. You can't have somebody in a position like that that is completely disconnected from the gamers, because if they're only thinking with profit in mind and nothing else, it shows, as we saw with the Xbox One. So, for me, one of the things is that he said in his speech, and I can also link that speech. Kotaku had a clip of it that I really liked. But one of the things he said was, the Project Scorpio at the time marks the beginning of gaming beyond limitations. And that means beyond consoles, it means beyond platform restriction. We're seeing that with Xbox Game Pass, how you can play it on PC. We're seeing the cross progression. We're seeing the ability to change your game experience through PC and console and not lose any progress, which is awesome. We're also seeing it with the recent announcement this past week, where they announced they are really working hard to get TV integration. And what's kind of cool about that is, so basically it would essentially mean you could play your Xbox without having an Xbox. One, this does not mean they are no longer making consoles. They were very clear to clarify that this is not us abandoning consoles. This is a part of their accessibility initiative, not just accessibility with medical conditions or physicality limitations, but also financial accessibility. Story time. I used to do marketing. I did a big marketing campaign for Barnes & Noble in Recife, Brazil. And I was absolutely shocked to see the monetization differences between North America and Recife. Here, during that time when I was there, a console cost $450 US dollars. Over there, I saw a minimum $1,000. I saw some consoles reach up to $2,000, phones to $3,000. The inflation rate from there to there, despite that being a huge technological hub of the world, is insanely different. So getting a gaming console, especially jumping right into next gen or new gen, it's almost impossible. It's really hard. The barrier to entry is incredibly high. And so I like this TV integration idea, because not everybody can spend $500, $600 in a new console. As technology progresses, that price tag's only going to go up. We're seeing games also increase in price. Now we're up to $70 for some. And this helps. And then having that TV integration and maybe having Xbox Game Pass, you're saving yourself hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars a year. Depending on how much you play, you could even be saving yourself thousands. So this is a really important thing. When they're saying beyond limitations, we had no idea the scope in mind at that time, but that includes membership subscriptions, building an entirely self-sufficient ecosystem. This also includes xCloud gaming, but I'll go into that in a little bit. This dives into so much more than beyond just thinking of just standardized hardware. And I think that's a point that gets lost a lot, and it's a point that is very worth delving into. So with xCloud, for those that may not know, the whole point of it is it takes gaming, the biggest games in the market, and it allows you to play them optimized in the palm of your hand through your cell phone or your laptop if you want, or your tablet. And it's a great way, especially for me, before the pandemic, I traveled every month. And I would bring my PlayStation with me or my Xbox with me. I'm primarily a PC gamer, but I don't like gaming on laptops. So obviously I'm not going to bring my tower and all my monitors, but I would take a console with me. And now you don't have to do that. You can take your handy dandy controller and hook it up, and it's a pretty dope experience. I remember playing Gears 5 on mobile and just being shocked at how well it ran. I did not expect that at all. So when it was first revealed, Project xCloud, it was really shown to be this high quality mobile experience. This was something that was kind of talked about before. Not the first time. Gaming on a mobile platform is nothing new, but they were taking it to the next level. And that was something that I think a lot of people went into, going back to the Recife story. That's something that helps limitability there too, is not everybody has access. I think it's really important. And when he said the beyond limitations, we weren't thinking playing a full-scale intense game on optimized version on a cell phone. That was not even anywhere close to what gamers were thinking when he was having this speech, which I think is very important to highlight, because it goes to show we don't have the full picture. That wasn't in anybody's coverage or predictions or anything. That was left field. He also, in that same speech of 2016, talked about a diverse gaming library. This was also going to be supported by Xbox Game Pass. Xbox Game Pass is a phenomenal feature. If you don't have it, I highly recommend it. I mostly play on PC, but even I have Xbox Game Pass for Xbox, because you pay a monthly price, yes, but with games being expensive, especially after Cyberpunk, I'm more cautious than ever about putting laying down a full price for a video game, and that lets me try out things, especially with epilepsy. Sometimes there are just games that push it too far and I can't do my safety tricks that I have up on the Game Informer of how to game safely with epilepsy. Sometimes it's just really bad and there's nothing I can do to help it. So this allows me to play what I can do safely without putting myself at risk and without breaking the bank. It's pretty easy to do that. So yeah, that was kind of a big thing for me. And the diverse library, we're seeing that also with like MLB The Show was a day one launch title on Game Pass. Nobody saw that coming because it's a PlayStation staple. And then two, it's just really nice too because he has mentioned in the past, Spencer has mentioned in the past that he's been in talks with Japanese studios. Japanese studios have a long-standing history of not wanting to work with Microsoft because it is not a Japanese company. It is a Western company, primarily close ties with Sony. That is something that a lot of players that do have Xbox wish wasn't necessarily the case. We're starting to see that broaden up a little bit, again, with the Yakuza franchise. And there's a lot of growth opportunities there that he is taking advantage of and pushing with his team, and having these conversations with Capcom and Sega and Atlus and all of these to really be like, no, we have a place, we have a community that is hungry for these types of games, and we will make sure that your games get in the hands of more and more players because of Xbox Game Pass, xCloud gaming, etc. And I think that is going to only help their case when it comes to wanting more diversified titles, because let's be honest, the original Xbox, there's always been RPGs on Xbox. I'm not saying that, but the primary focus has always been geared towards online play and shooters. And this is going to broaden that. They want a diversified gaming library. Gamers want a diversified gaming library. And the Xbox One generation leadership did not have that push, but Spencer understands what gamers want. Like, seriously, when I say he's involved with the community, I mean he's like balls deep, figuratively speaking, in the community. If you play Halo Online, chances are you've played a match with him. True story. Cool stories about that too. It's just cool. And really, honestly, it's just really cool to me. Another thing is he regaled players with a desire to have the freedom to play the games that you want to play with the device you want. Again, that goes to Xbox Gaming. That goes to, if I buy Gears 5 on my PC, I can also play it on my Xbox. This also goes with crossplay. People tend to forget, years and years and years ago, Sony tampered with the idea of crossplay, and they seemed really into it. Previous leadership at Xbox was like, nay, we don't do this in our house. We need to build up our community, so we don't have the room to share. Spencer came in and said, F that, gaming is for everybody. And he really pushed. He put pressure. I mean, I'm not talking about he just talked at me. He walked his walk. He was calling out big companies that were pushing back heavily against crossplay. He is a very big contributing factor why Fortnite is crossplay. And Fortnite was, and still is, one of the top games of all in the world. And right now, I think as of May, when I last looked, it was still in the #1 spot of highest concurrent player count. So when a game like Fortnite goes crossplay, and then a lot of studios was like, oh shit, maybe this is finally, we're not just talking about it for once, maybe it's finally happening. And he was also very vocal about it in a time where Sony came out and was like, no, we don't want to do crossplay. Sorry, work. You know what? I said every time that one time I will get through a video without work popping up, and I told them I was making this video and work popped up. I'm gonna try to wrap this up as fast as I can. So I think that's really cool. Crossplay allows people to play with who they want. That's kind of one thing that I really hate is I play a lot of Destiny and a lot of Overwatch. Destiny is adding crossplay, Overwatch is adding crossplay, but it's not available now and hasn't been available to a lot of it available to play now. And for me, I play on PC, but most of my friends, everybody I work with at Game Informer plays Overwatch on console, and a lot of my friends play Destiny on PlayStation, and I want to play with them. And up until this point, they're going to be Bungie's going to be adding crossplay to Destiny next season, but they do at least have cross progression, so I can play with friends if I save. But even that, I'm still like nervous to do that because I've heard horror stories of people just losing their account process and progress, and I'm just like, I don't want to do that because I work really hard to get my gear. But that is neither here nor there. So anyways, so for me, to close this out, the biggest part of the 2016 speech that slapped me in the face in a very good way is his talk about accessibility, about gaming is for everyone. And if you follow my work at Game Informer, you know I wrote a 3,000 word guide, epileptic's guide to gaming. I work with studios on a weekly basis to make their games more accessible. I was recently able to get a seizure disclaimer put into Destiny 2. I wrote a big, long document of this is dangerous, this is dangerous, this is dangerous, and there's a way to fix that without changing anything. That's what people don't understand too. Technical magic, my friends. Technical magic. But yeah, and so I it's something I'm very passionate about. For anybody that doesn't know, I never had seizures before I joined the military. I got an injury when I was overseas on deployment, and that paired with my MS, my brain is just a clusterfuck. And so now seizures are a problem. Commercials can be dangerous for me. I've had seizures. I've had a McDonald's commercial knock me on my ass. I made headlines, and I still hate that, because when I was reviewing Cyberpunk, I had a grand mal seizure, and I very well could have died because they had a machine at the time that directly mimicked a device armature for an EKG, where it puts a goggle-like device in front of your eyes, and it does rapid flare of a certain pattern and rapid dedicated rate of animation designed to trigger a seizure. And CD Projekt Red didn't realize, holy shit, we almost exactly replicated that. I even put a side-by-side photo of the device in real time and the device in the game, and they were shocked. The amount of developers that reached out to me holy shit, we had no idea. And we just did a small animation tweak. Instead of the flashing, we made it like a wave, and it's still just as cool, but not deadly. But Xbox, again, he said that during the 2016 of gaming is for everybody, we're going to be working to push the boundaries of accessibility. What did they do? They came out with an awesome accessibility in mind controller, the adaptive controller. They have an entire document that they give developers that is a free tool to check your games to see if they hit the benchmarks of certain accessibility barriers. That includes subtitles, that includes audio cues, hard of hearing, hard of seeing, that includes epileptic triggers. It includes so many aspects of neurodivergence that isn't normally talked about. Keep in mind, people always like to be like, well, they do colorblind stuff. Yes, but they didn't always do that. That's actually a recent development in recent years. And the only reason that it became a thing is because people were talking about it. So the important thing is we have to have these conversations, because the more and more we talk about it, the more commonplace they become. And because of that, things can change for the better and more people can enjoy games. My only thing, I hate when people say she has an agenda. I don't. I don't believe in console wars. I think they're stupid. I don't believe in brand loyalty. I think that's stupid. My only agenda is I want as many people to play video games as humanly possible. If there's a game I don't like, I simply won't play it. I won't do a smear campaign against it. I don't care that much. I want you to play the games that make you happy. That is what I want. As a gamer, as a writer, that is all I care about. Are you enjoying the game you're playing? Great. Hope you're happy. Tell me your favorite parts. Please gush. I always have an ear. I want to hear you just excitedly freak the fuck out. I don't have an agenda. My only agenda is to have as many people play games as possible. Their accessibility initiative makes that possible. They are doing things. They are forcing Nintendo to look at their accessibility options. They are forcing Sony to do the same. Ubisoft had their first ever accessibility conference now during this year's E3 because of what Xbox is doing. IGN, GameSpot, they're all getting accessibility experts to come on their podcast and come onto their shows to talk about it. Reiner, our editor-in-chief, Andrew Reiner, bless his heart, gives me free reign to talk accessibility on Game Informer because he knows it's a good platform. People are finally having these conversations, and that would not be possible without this initiative. This is so important, and I don't think people give Xbox enough credit for that because they are literally changing lives for the better, and I can't sing those praises enough. Also in the showcase, he obviously talked about improved technology designed well, and you know, we see that with the easier loading times, and we see that with the quick saves, and we see that with the backwards compatibility, we see the reduced loading time, smart delivery, things like that. Sony is also doing similar things with their platform, better technology, more easygoing user experience. It's a good thing for all. But as we go into E3 tomorrow, you know, we know they're going to be talking about the TV integration. We know they're going to be doing some Halo Infinite stuff. We know they're going to be talking about Xbox Game Pass editions and cloud gaming as well, as we move into more platforms for that. But as we go into that, I just want you to keep in mind, we didn't have the full picture in 2016, and look at where we're at now. So take what they're saying now in tomorrow's showcase, at 2021's showcase, and know that we may not see the fruit of that labor for a couple of years, but take what they're saying and really digest it and think like, holy shit, this is a good time to be a gamer. This is such a cool, we are so spoiled as gamers. I'm 34 years old. When I grew up, we didn't have any of this shit. We looked at pixels, we were like, are those stairs? They kind of look like stairs, right? Are those stairs? That was my experience growing up. We are so spoiled. Take a second back from the vitriol and the overcriticalization, and if it's not Game of the Year, it's nothing. And just take a moment to appreciate how cool shit is. Like, this shit is dope. So anyways, that was my soapbox. Thank you so much for tuning in my video. I tried to wrap it up. It's looking like I'm over 20 minutes. I tried. Also, just thank you to Phil Spencer, and thank you for the people at Sony and Nintendo and Valve and Epic Game Store and Xbox. Like, thank you for doing what you do, because I'm assuming you're here because you like gaming. I love gaming, and yeah, gaming is for everybody. So thank you guys for tuning in so much, and if you're interested, we got tons of coverage over Game Informer for E3. We are all caffeinated. I even have my Dirty F and Hippie mug. We're good to go. So thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.